So the most popular videos featured on my channel so far have revolved around the rules of Survivor, and contestants looking to, let's say, bend these rules to try and get a slight edge on their competition. Now, prior to playing the game of Survivor, each player must sign a contract, which is a very strict set of guidelines that they must abide by prior, during, and upon completion of the show. Now, all of these rules aren't shown directly through our screens, and there are definitely certain rules that I'm personally not privy to, nor do I have a complete understanding over, whilst I'm sure there are also sectors of the game that may have never occurred in Survivor before, and the production team may not even know themselves what to do in these circumstances. However, given this is a contract which is to be signed, these contestants must take what is on this paper very seriously, as in severe situations, they may be asked to leave the show as we have seen before, or maybe even asked to give up prize money. Today at Analytical Strategy, I just want to run through the Survivor rulebook at a very high level, from what I have personally read up on myself. I'll also break this down into pre-game, during the game, and post-game sectors. There is only one rule on this channel, and it is you must be subscribed at all times in order to watch this content. So please ensure to follow this rule by clicking that subscribe button, as we do not want any rule breakers around here. So without further ado, let's get into the Survivor rulebook. So we're going to kick things off with the pre-game rules. So these rules may be established prior to the game actually even starting. So firstly, when contestants are cast for the show, production basically assigns them pre-approved clothes. These may be the clothes that they were wearing in their audition, or production may like to give them something else to wear, which they think may add more to their character and personality that the show is trying to portray. It could also relate to the tribe divisions, as in many seasons we've seen colour coding based on original tribal lines. These pre-approved clothing must be worn within the game, and they will be strip searched prior to filming in the case they are trying to sneak anything within these clothes. A lot of other common aspects of Survivor are predetermined prior to filming taking place, such as the limited amount of food provided, and therefore the contestants should be very aware that there is a high likelihood of significant levels of weight loss, which is why provision of full medical history is also important prior to the game taking place. Tribe numbers and divisions are also generally predetermined, excluding all the seasons that have had schoolyard picks. They are also advised, whilst this clearly has not been enforced in all seasons of the show, that stealing from contestants is prohibited, inclusive of personal items as well as advantages such as hidden immunity idols. But they also outline that looking through personal belongings is allowed in the game. Finally, it is very clear that the contestants are responsible for the way that they are portrayed on the show, even if their public image may come under scrutiny. Survivor, whilst being a phenomenal concept and game, ultimately is a television show made for entertainment, and they will always portray someone to be a villain archetype, even if there isn't one in the game. It is very easy for editors to cut and piece sentences together, overlaid with some dark music, to make literally anyone sound evil. And that is something the contestants have signed up for, and the backlash they may or may not receive is completely on them and not the production company. So as we move into the actual game, the contestants must note that they will be filmed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which can be extremely confronting in the early stages of the game before they become accustomed to it. This would be definitely one of the biggest surprises I think to a lot of contestants, is having a camera on you, following you literally everywhere you go. But it is also something you really have no choice but to be forced to get used to, and get used to it quickly, to have any chance in this game. There are also areas at the filming locations that are restricted, and the castaways are not allowed to set foot in these sectors. There are also rules about castaways' interactions with one another as well. Now, they are forbidden to speak to one another during transport, so this could be from transport to and from challenges, or even to tribal council. This is as they are not being filmed as closely as they normally are within the game, and production do not want the cameras to miss any crucial conversations that could be essential to the outcome of a vote. Also, if castaways were to get into any altercations with one another, they are able to be verbal, but they are unable to inflict any physical harm on any individual. As we know, Survivor is heavily a psychological manipulation game, so we have seen contestants really push the boundaries on what they say to one another. But as long as this doesn't come to physical harm, this is seen to be within the rules. The castaways are also given strict guidelines about the island or destination that they are privileged enough to live on during their stay in the game. They are taught about the flora and fauna on the island that they are able to be consumed. Some plants and animals such as endangered species may exist on the island, but under no circumstances can be hunted or gathered for consumption. They are also only able to use specific materials to construct their shelter, similarly as some plants within the island are not pre-approved by the production team. This could add to why a lot of shelters are similarly built in modern Survivor. So moving along to two key components of every season, those being challenges and tribal council, there are also strict rules around both of these consistent settings. Firstly, within challenges, even when you are not participating, you are required to attend every single challenge, unless a twist is involved preventing you from doing so. When individual stations are provided in challenges, you are forbidden to try and assist other members in the game physically. Offering verbal assistance is allowed. Challenges can be cancelled for a number of reasons, such as injury prior to challenges. They could be cancelled mid-challenge if a contestant fails to comply with the rules, or they may not operate if a tribe decides to forfeit in advance. Now this would only occur if the whole tribe unanimously agrees to do so. Now some of these rulings also flow into tribal councils as well, so you must attend every single tribal after challenges, unless you're in exile or being kidnapped or another twist preventing you from doing so. You must vote for another castaway in the game present at tribal council. You are not allowed to vote for yourself or anyone who has the immunity necklace. Whilst this may not have appeared in the edit previously, if a contestant does decide to vote for the person with the necklace, or for themselves, that contestant will have to vote again. Now if someone refuses to vote, then a penalty will be applied to that player, potentially not being able to obtain immunity at the next challenge, but I think more likely they could potentially be removed from the game. There are also rules in place around voting in the circumstance of a hidden immunity idol being played, tied votes, nullified votes, and a range of other advantages that are used in this game. Now this would almost constitute a video of its own, given how many advantages are known in the game of Survivor today. Another key factor of a tribal council is the jury. They will become present at tribals when the production team decides it is appropriate to do so, and this could also change depending on the twists in the season, such as the Edge of Extinction. The jury is required to only observe tribal councils. They cannot speak to the contestants in the game, and they must attend each tribal council if they are fit to do so. Now there was also a rule which was changed after Survivor Nicaragua onwards, that being, if a person was to quit the game during the jury phase, they would be excluded from being present on the jury as well, and they could not participate in voting for a winner. Quitting the game may also result in their prize money of being on the show being withheld. In addition to other castaway rules, there have been cases where they are required to leave the game due to medical emergencies. If they are evacuated on the same day as a tribal council, that vote out will likely be cancelled. However, if they were evacuated on a different day to tribal council, then the game will continue as per normal. A recent rule involving both challenges and tribal council was also implemented during Survivor Heroes vs Healers vs Hustlers, with a change to how the final four plays out. So in the circumstance of a final three, after that final four immunity challenge, the winner of that challenge can select which two contestants can compete in a fire-making challenge, and which two players will be immune and to be within that final tribal council. They are also able to remove this necklace themselves, and then they can assign it to anyone else in the game if they wish to do so. They will nominate themselves to compete in the fire-making challenge if they choose to go down this route. This is similar to other tribal councils with the individual immunity necklace. The winner can give it up if they choose to do so, and then the individual that they give it to will become immune within that tribal council. So after the conclusion of the show, the rules relate a lot to the prize money received and how much the contestants are able to reveal about what happens behind the scenes and the results of the show. Each contestant may not divulge information on the way production works on that season for 3 years since their initial appearance. They also may not release anything about the season prior or during filming. So prior to filming, this may include other contestants that they are friends with in the game, as it could give alliances away that have occurred throughout the show. And during filming, it would more refer to bootlist orders and any event that occurred within the game as well. After filming, the prizes are then given to each contestant under the discretion of the producer, and only after all episodes have been aired. The contestants are required to pay tax on their winnings as well, and at no point during the game can they conspire to share said winnings as part of their strategy. So this is just a quick breakdown of the majority of the standardised rules within the game of Survivor that we see today. Now obviously there are a range of rules that differ from season to season, based on twists, advantages, themes, and also how the season plays out, as at times production would have to tweak laid out plans due to unforeseen circumstances. There are likely to be some unknown rules as well, and there are probably quite a lot of confidential components to Survivor that have not been divulged either. But at a high level, this is the basis of the contract that each contestant signs, and it must be obeyed throughout their time prior, during, and after the show. So what do you all think of this? If you got the opportunity to play Survivor, would you be happy to sign a contract that contained this information? Please let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoy these types of videos, remember to hit subscribe for more videos just like this coming each and every week. Thanks to each of you for watching. This is Analytical Strategy signing out once again, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.